Hello everyone, my name's Cole and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today I want to give you a bit of a progress update on some of the work that I've made on the large ship carrier. I've been working on this now probably for, I don't know, it seems like forever, but it's been about 2 months now. Unfortunately, I've gotten really busy at work, so progress has been slow, but I do want to give you just a quick update on where I'm at so far. So you should be able to see two kind of immediate changes over the last video. The first one are the presence of these double laser cannons. There's 5 on each side, so 10 total. These were copied from the first carrier ship that I built a few years ago. I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping these as they are. I'm not sure if they fit with the aesthetic of the build. Still need to kind of work around with them a little bit. And there's some tinkering that needs to be done. They don't quite fit fully on this pad, so there's some trimming that needs to happen. And then I'm also not sure if I'm going to stick with 5, or I might reduce down to 3, because right now it does look like from here it looks okay, but when I fly out a bit over this way, it looks a little bit cluttered, as you can see, and especially from the front, it looks a little bit, I don't know, it looks kind of like the ship is like shrugging, and I'm not really sure that that's the aesthetic that I want to go with. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep those cannons here on the side. What I may end up doing is putting a large laser cannon on the front here, do a custom built one that I've never made before, and then put in a couple of the cannons, maybe 2 here and 2 there, or something to that effect. So that's the great thing about World Edit. You can just kind of copy and paste things in, and if you don't like them, it's very easy to make modifications and change things up and see how they look very quickly, as opposed to even if you were doing it in creative, it would take hours to put these guns in and remove them and play around with them. So yeah, I'm going to need to continue to do some work here on that. And the other one is this hydroponics bay up front, or up top, which will go through the front here and have a look. So we'll come back over in here. I'm not sure if I showed this on video as well. I have gone through here and decided on this is what I'm going to do for the lights. So I've kind of gone through and added in bits and pieces here and there. There's still a lot of work on the interior that needs to be done, but this is what I'm going to do for the lighting. Unfortunately, the ship is really dark, and that's going to be a common theme that I discussed in this video, is that everything is pretty dark. So there's a lot of little things that need to get finished on this ship, and these hallways are one of the bigger little things that need to get done. By the way, we'll go up here into the hydroponics bay. So this is the design that I've gone with. It's a symmetrical design. As you can kind of see, there's a large tree garden here in the center, and then smaller ones flanking the sides, and then one kind of in each corner of the circle, if we can say that. So I've mentioned it before, but I like my ships that I build to be playable within survival. So I've gone and I've put in kind of farmland over here. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with that here on this build, or if I may go with something over here like this, or maybe go with something completely alien. But if I do something completely alien, I'll probably have to get rid of these little planter boxes here and kind of extend out more towards the wall. So yeah, just kind of playing around with that for a little bit, and just threw this in here just because this is what I normally do, but I might go ahead and try something different. I'll just kind of play around with it for a bit. I've also got a large tree here in the center, which I'll discuss in a moment. I went and made a large aquarium here. Right now we're in 1.13, so we're still on the old texture for glass. So I'm waiting for World Edit to be available for 1.14 in full release as opposed to beta, and then that'll change, or that'll get me the updated texture packs for the glass, and then that'll also change the texture pack for the glass dome as well. So we'll look forward to seeing that. So I had spawned some fish in here, but as you can see, they're all dead. I did sign off and then sign back in. So I think what I actually needed to do was throw some name tags on the fish to get them to stick around. So I may end up expanding this out as well to make this aquarium a little bit bigger, but this is where I'm at right now. Just kind of experimenting with what I could make an aquarium look like, and that's what I came up with. And then the other thing is this custom tree. And in building this tree, this took me hours. And I've learned that I'm not good at building custom trees. So I wanted to have like just kind of like a big bushy, kind of top heavy tree, kind of like a willow, like a weeping willow tree. And I don't think I accomplished that. What's actually one of the things I'm looking at here, these vines are really long. I forgot to go and put string in on a lot of these. So I'll need to go back and trim the bush, so to speak, and put some string under there. But either way, I am not good at building custom trees. Yeah, I even experimented with like putting leaves up in here to kind of make it more rounded, and I just couldn't get it to look. I just couldn't get it to look decent. So, anyway, that's here. It is what it is. I'll just stick to building starships. Okay. And then the other thing I'll go and show you is the holodecks. I'm down here. I've kind of laid out where I want these rooms to look like. So main engineering is going to go right in here, and then we have the holodecks here on each side. And this room right here, this has taken me 2 hours to build. And this has been the most frustrating thing in the whole world to build. And you may be thinking, but this is just it's just a square room with some checkerboard patterns. And you're right, but I was an idiot, and I built the entire room out of black concrete or black cement, whatever it's called. Um, what is it called? I think it's cement. No, it's concrete. Yeah. I built the whole thing out of black concrete, and you can't see when you have no light, and even when like if you have no context, you can't see where you are within the room. So, like for example, here I lay down these blocks here, and as you can see, when you hover over the block, you get a black outline to it. You don't get that with the black concrete at all. And so what I did is I laid down this whole room in black concrete and then tried to do the check pattern. And like for example, if I walk into this wall right here, you can't really see what block you're looking at. I'm moving. If you can't see it, I'm moving my mouse back and forth, and I can't really see whether I'm looking at the block on the left or the block on the right. And so I did this whole room like that. And me being the idiot that I am, once I was finished, remembered, I could have built this whole room out of something like, I don't know, like dirt or red wool, like I usually do, and then put in the checkerboard pattern, and then went and selected the whole thing and changed everything to the black concrete. So I could have saved myself like literally like 2 hours worth of time doing this, but instead, no, I decided I was going to do it the hard way. So if you are ever building with this material in creative mode and you have world edit, just don't. Save yourself the hassle, build with something else, and then change it out afterwards. So yeah, that's that room. I may add some other things in here. If you've watched Star Trek, so for example, in Star Trek Voyager, when they built the Delta Flyer, a lot of the engineering and design work was done in a holodeck, and so this is reminiscent of those type of holodecks. So it's not a full like space dock or anything like that. It was literally just a room with the orange and yellow checkerboard style pattern. And then they would like use the computer to put in to materialize whatever they were working on. In the Next Generation, for example, Jordan LaForge was working on some of the warp core stuff, so he'd not spawn in, but generate in a warp core so he could work on the warp core and run tests and such. And a lot of that was done just in these blank sort of holodeck rooms with the black and checkerboard pattern. So I might go ahead and put in a couple of those components here just for the engineers to work on. These little rooms right here on each side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the elevator access to the upper floors on each side. So one here and one there. And then we have a doorway to engineering, a doorway to the hangar, and then of course the one that goes here into the holodeck. So in this holodeck, I've actually put in a program. So there's a program that's running. And for those of you who have watched my older videos or been a subscriber for a long time, you'll recognize this build as the Greek temple ruins that I built a few years ago. So what I did is I just went into my placement world and I copied that out of there using a schematic and then pasted it into here with some modifications. So the problem that I have with this so far is that it's so dark down in this area of the ship. So I need to figure out a way to get the natural sunlight from above down in here, because that natural sunlight, it provides essentially light blocks all the way down, and then the light comes out from there, as opposed to, so like that's what it looks like right now. Cover that off and it gets much darker. So I need to figure out a way to get the natural light into this area. But yeah, this Greek temple build is one of my favorite things that I built on the channel so far. So I really wanted to incorporate it in here, and I think it works pretty well just as a holodeck program. Just kind of neat that you come in from this, like if you can picture it when this is done, this is gonna be like a high-tech space age type thing, and then you walk in and then there's ruins there, which I think is pretty neat. All right. So as far as things that need to get done, there are 3 major projects that need to be finished, and I'm going to kind of list them off from easiest to hardest. So the easiest one that has to be done is main engineering. So I need to put in a warp core, some consoles, and then other engineering bits and bobs in this area here. And so that's not going to be too bad to do. It'll take a few hours, but that's going to be some pretty enjoyable work. It's something that I can either record a video and bring you along for the ride, or I can put on a TV show and watch the TV show as I do this kind of in the background. So that's not going to be too bad. It's just going to be a lot of work. dark. The next hardest thing, one I think is probably tied, number one and number two, is this hangar area. It is so dark in this area that I'm losing a lot of definition on the ships. So if I go, what I need to put in is I need to put in little ships, kind of strewn about in here. I need to put in repair equipment, and I need to put in like like workstations where people work, and the crew members can work on the ships and get them working here. But it's so dark in here, I'm going to lose a lot of that definition. So I need to figure out how to properly light it. So I did throw in some lights up here just to kind of see how that would impact things. But as you can see, it's not doing a whole lot, and it's still overall just too dark. So I need to figure out how I can punch holes through the roof to get natural sunlight down into this area. Unfortunately, if I had been thinking more when I was building the ship, when I was designing it, I would have designed around this problem. But right now, I'm trying to fix the problem after I have the primary design in place. Because unfortunately, up here, I can't just punch a hole straight up because like we're into the crew quarters here. Like this is the main part of the ship. Like this is med bay. So that's going to be a big problem that I have to overcome, that I'm not looking forward to. I honestly don't know how long this is going to take to do this part here, but this is probably the thing that I'm least looking forward to do. And then the final thing is the doors. So like the first carrier ship that I built, I want to have doors where you press a button and there's a glass door in front of you here. You press a button and then the door goes up and then comes down. So that's all done through command blocks by spawning in air to get rid of the glass and then spawning in the glass. It's basically done in a way so that it looks like the door's going up and down. So I had to do that for all the doors. But the problem that I have with this ship, and again, I didn't plan around this. On the first carrier that I built, the command blocks that spawn in the glass and spawn in the air are directly below the door that they're spawning in on. Underneath here, there's nothing. Like I basically am into the end of the ship. So I need to go through and correct this so there's not water running. But there's no space in here really for command blocks. So what I have to actually do is put the command blocks over in here. So this main area here, there's a lot of space. But the problem is that there's an offset. So all of my doors in the main carrier that I built, or it's not the main carrier, the first carrier that I built, it's an X and a Y coordinate that I have to worry about. But now because everything is offset, I now have to worry about the Z coordinate as well. So that's basically just going to be a lot of napkin math. I need to figure out, how high I am, or how high the blocks are that I need to spawn in, then I need to figure out the relative location, and it's just going to be a royal pain in the butt. So basically I'm just going to have to sit down and just do a lot of napkin math and figure it out. It's my least favorite thing to do when it comes to command blocks. So, but anyway, that's the thing that I'm least looking forward to, I think. And then, of course, this main door as well. I do have a design in mind for what I want to do for this door. On the other carrier that I have up over there, it kind of starts in the center and expands out for both generating in the force field and getting rid of the force field. For here, I'm going to go with a different design that I'm pretty excited to work out. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you about that. I'm going to show it to you, and then we'll see what you think. So anyway, that's the progress that I've made on the ship so far. Not a whole lot of work. And again, I do apologize for that. It's been very busy for me at work, and I've not had a lot of time to spend playing Minecraft, let alone playing Minecraft and making a video on it. But I did want to show you some of the work that I did get done. Yeah, just I didn't want to leave you for another few weeks without a progress update. So anyway, I hope you like what you see, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.